What's up, guys? This is Crook for Money bringing you an RTLS guide. This was requested by Dates and Illuminati, and I plan on bringing a guide in the future. Alright, so I'm using my PB, which is a 530 as of now, and I'm doing this because it went pretty well, and on top of that, I didn't really want to have to re-record and all of that. It probably would have been about as bad of quality anyway, so that's what we're going with. First off, I'm starting from the first territories. Basically, we're just going through the territories because pretty much everyone should know how to do the actual missions. So right here, I see this first spawn. Anytime you see the first spawn, you should go for it because if you miss the first spawn, the chances are you're not going to find another one. I leave Sweet behind. I'm doing my best to keep him away from me because I don't want him to get ran over by a car that could randomly run him over. You stand right here. There's a little bit of placement you can see. So I didn't get there in time, and it's based off of how much time I had to do what I was trying to do. So I try again. You have to stand kind of like towards the street behind me. Just a little bit closer to it than rather than further away to try to get the spawns to all be behind you. Otherwise, they'll be behind you on both sides. So, of course, you use the camera trick, same as Doberman and all that. So, I'm just keeping my face to them while looking behind, so they spawn that way. I got the territory rather easily. There was some cars driving by right there that could have killed Sweet if he was standing next to me. So, it's good to try to keep him away from you. And, of course, blow up all these cars, kill all the people. One thing that you may have to worry about is a fire truck coming back. I get on the bike right there to make sure it doesn't despawn because I think the bike's on a timer or something, so the bike can actually despawn if you put it there. But it's all based on how long you leave the bike without actually being on it or something. That seems to be how it goes anyway. But yeah, a fire truck can come from that exploding car and run over Sweet as well, so you have to watch out for that. There's really nothing you can do about that. First territory is right here. Of course, same with any territory, you just kind of try to find spawns. And sometimes you're not as lucky. I'm kind of having trouble here getting spawns. But I get the spawns, and same as the last territory, I stand here kind of towards the street behind me more than away from it. And I kind of get the spawns I want, but not really. I get the spawns all behind me, but they're kind of off on the sides, which you don't want. So to combat this, I'll stand a little bit further away from the street that I'm shooting at right now. So I'm going to go a little bit farther forward. So there we go, we're quite a bit further forward. And now the spawns are all behind me. So that's how the spawning works. If you want spawns behind you, pretty much just take a look at how I do it and you'll figure it out. This is the second wave, so I'm trying to get the next wave to spawn behind me right here because this is the next territory. So now we got the spawns behind, and sometimes they can be too far away, so that's kind of tricky. So now I want to move forward, so we're going over here, we're moving forward. These spawns are kind of hard. It's kind of hard to do the spawns where you actually have to move, so these are kind of like not too good, but they're probably about as good as I could have got it. So you definitely want to get the first wave inside the territory, otherwise you might lose the territory. So I put the bike right here, I get perfect spawns, so there's no reason to actually move from this spot. I get back on the bike because this is the second wave, so I'm canceling this wave and starting the next one. All the spawns are where I want them to be, and now I can just take over this territory, and I'm already here and I'm not wasting any time. Which is good. I get back on the bike because I think I'm going to move, but there's actually no reason to move because the spawns are actually really good right now. I shoot at all the guys on the right because when you do this spawn, everybody runs to the right and sometimes they go behind the building. And if they go behind the building, there's nothing you can really do. So you want to make sure you're shooting at the people on the right rather than on the left. So we take out all those guys. This is obviously the second wave. And now we get back on the bike and we move forward because we need to take the next territory. This spawn is really bad. I don't really have any advice on getting this spawn, and I usually always do bad with this one, but this wasn't too bad. This whole entire area takes over the area by Cluckin' Bell, so I'm actually in pretty good position. My bike isn't knocked over, so I'm not gonna lose any time or anything like that. So we go down onto the highway, we kind of stay next to the territory. We get all the spawns behind us because that's the fastest way to do it. I didn't really want that spawn, but we kind of have to take what we can get. Move a little bit forward, kind of position this bike towards that little entrance point right there. Look behind us so we can get the spawns in front of us, which are way easier, and we don't have to worry about them being on top of the highway and all that. Yeah, the spawn kind of messed up. I don't really know what happened there. But yeah, so I'm positioning the bike so I can go straight into the next territory. Usually this doesn't work. I start the next wave. I'm already in this section, so we take over this territory. And now we're gonna look that way so they spawn behind us, which is a better position to kill everybody. Then we kill everybody, we get back on the bike, we drive through here. Usually I fall off the bike and mess up, which is really stupid. We take out the next set of people, and we do this as fast as possible because we're actually we're not outside the territory. But yeah, I get the second wave, and we get into the marker. We don't actually have to cancel Vigilante. You can park the bike into the garage if you need to heal it. I didn't need to do that, so I just parked the bike next to me, took out the second wave, and started the mission. So now we look for a spawn over here rather than over there. We want the spawns to be here, so we're gonna do anything we can to get the spawns right here. So we're gonna have to drive around a bit because we're not getting any spawns, and eventually we'll find them, but it may take a while. We eventually get the spawns right here, take out all of them. Of course, on this mission you have to do all 3 waves because it's a mission. So now we drive over here and try not to be slow about it, which is going to cause us to have really bad spawns. Ideally, I would already been set up to go into the next territory, but that's not how it worked out, unfortunately. So we take out all those guys. That's the first wave. We move over to this area, and we position ourselves to get a really good spawn, which is kind of towards the street behind me, as always. And all of them spawn behind me like they need to be. We take out all of these guys, and now we try to get the second spawn, so we just stay here. It's really unfortunate that the bike is tipped over, and it's kind of far away, because we kind of need that as soon as this wave ends, or the third one anyway. Yeah, this is the third one. So yeah, now we need to get back on the bike and hurry up and get to the next territory, which is over here. So just drive up and down the street, I guess. That's like the best thing you can do. Stand next to this area. So you want this territory. If you can see on the map, it's the territory which is the gas station, basically. So here you can get off. Tyrion does these strats, or he did in his non-duped PB, and quite a few other people did these strats. I messed up the first wave, but the second wave, we're going to stand right here, and we're going to look that way, and we easily get a spawn right in front of us. I actually got the spawn behind me because I accidentally looked away. But yeah, that would have been in front of me if I hadn't messed up the camera right at the last second. So that was completely my fault. That was just a really bad move. So we get the last spawn. The best spawn I could think of is right here. Kill all the guys and you're already set up to go to Grove Street. So just make your way to Grove Street and you're good. If you have any questions about anything that's going on, you can of course ask me. I'll answer. It's not too difficult to answer questions about all of this stuff. So one trick that you have to do here is that you have to slow down into the marker right here so that the bike spawns here. because if you go too fast, then the bike will actually despawn. So make sure that you slow down when you go into the marker. On top of that, depending on Sweet's position, he can get hit by the bike and you will kill him. So we do Vigilante there, we cancel Vigilante, and you should have these spawns. Sometimes it doesn't always happen. The reason why you do Vigilante is because when you take over this set of territories, sometimes your hood gets took over and you don't get any spawns. Even if you did, you wouldn't be able to do anything with it because they're taking over your territory and you can't actually gain a territory during that happening. So you kill all those guys, you go over here, you make your way to this wall. And this is where most people probably lose territories, is because they don't realize that they need to stand next to this wall to grab the territory to the right side. You're not grabbing the territory in front of you, you're grabbing the one to the right. So that's why you stand next to this wall. So now we're on the second wave, we stand next to the wall, we have all the guys down there, you kill them all. And the most important thing you can do during these territories is make sure that when you're doing these territories that you spawn them downhill, because if they're uphill, then they're like, it's just not gonna work. You'll see if you try it. If you try spawning people uphill, it just doesn't work. It sounds like a good idea, but if you think about it, it's like if you were a sniper, you wouldn't want to be sniping from downhill while someone's using an M4 uphill. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So what you want to do is spawn everyone downhill for this section, and then the last section you want to spawn everyone uphill, so it's kind of the opposite. And these are pretty much like little things you need to learn. So now we got the territory taken over on the right side. Now we're taking over the territory which is right in front of us from where we were at the wall. And I do these two waves right here, I think. So we kill all these guys, kill all those guys, and that's the first wave. So yeah, I do both of these right here. It's this is just kinda like unoptimized. I don't really know what the best way to do this one is, but look at that. That's really, really bad. The car rolled downhill and hit my bike and knocked it over and costed me the spawn completely. So I have to kill all these guys because that car made me mess up. That's just one of the things that can happen in territories. Another thing I could mention is when you're doing territories, never shoot a cop in his car. As you've seen, I never had to kill a cop at all in this whole entire run. So yeah, you stop the territory like right here to get the territory right here. And then you continue over here. And yeah, so that's fairly easy to remember. And then you kind of just park the bike here diagonally so that they don't spawn in front of you at all. Because they'll either spawn on the hill or they'll spawn on the street, which is technically behind me. Well, behind me now. And you want all the spawns to be behind you. So you kind of have to face towards this hill. And yeah, it's kind of like diagonal. While I've done the second or the first territory or the second territory, we go down here and we cancel Vigilante and then we get all the guys up here. So we're constantly traveling to the next territory because this is a really, really big territory. We need all the speed we can get to get over here before the next spawn. So by the time the spawn actually happened, we got the spawn right down here. And yeah, so you see this is really easily done. That's the first spawn, and then we can just wait for the second spawn right here. So yeah, there we go. There's the second spawn. Well, actually, yeah, we need to get on the bike for the cancel Vigilante. And then we get this spawn right here, which is really easily done. It's like all of them were right there from the very beginning. And then we could just sit here for the next wave or two, killing these guys again. So you don't leave this spot for like 4 waves basically, which is pretty good. So this is like a really, really good spot, and it's not too difficult to do. You may need some practice to get it done, but it's pretty self-explanatory, I guess. So after that second wave, we go over here. This spawn's really tricky. There's like no good spawn for this. So I kind of wait to cancel Vigilante till they actually run towards me, which is kind of a time loss, but it's better than pretty much anything else that could happen. And then I make my way down this hill, and this is where we want to start spawning everyone uphill so they don't run down. Because if you spawn them the opposite way, if you spawn them downhill, they'll run away from you and you won't be able to shoot them. You'll lose a lot of time, you'll probably get cops on you and like a bunch of stuff. You'll probably lose a territory over it and then have to redo it. So always right here, spawn everyone up and kind of be a little bit out of the territory, so when you start the next territory that you don't actually have to move at all. So we got the second wave, we're kind of moving a little bit more downhill because we can, and it'll cause the spawn to be a little bit further, or I guess closer to us. And also make sure that you get all of these territories, because there's that little one that I got at first. I think it was the last one. It's a little tiny territory. You kind of have to use the edge of the map to kind of see where the territories are, because the line's not completely straight, which is good because that's a good reference. And yeah, we move a little bit more downhill. We keep moving a little bit more downhill, and we take this territory. And now you can see we're already in position to take the next territory as well. All these spawns are perfectly fine. Sometimes there's like burning cars that go rolling down the hill and stuff and try to blow you up. And just random stuff that can happen. But don't try not to worry about that, because it's pretty distracting. 9 times out of 10, it's completely harmless. And what actually ends up happening is that you end up taking a lot of damage from AKs, because on the second wave with the Vagos, you can get hit with AKs. So this is a strat which has been known about for a really long time. You take that territory and then move this way, and then you can go all the way down here. I don't do it because I've lost this territory before. I think maybe you should do this on the second territory, I'm not really sure. But sometimes you can drive all the way away from this and you won't lose the territory, and other times you lose it instantly. That was the second wave, so you don't even have to cancel Vigilante if you want. As you saw right there as well, the Vigilante actually canceled really, really fast. One of the times I've done this, I made it all the way to the mansion without it canceling, so it's kind of random, I guess. I don't really know. But that's basically the easiest way you can do territories, the most efficient. There's probably a lot of people that are faster than me, but you can take it from a 5:30 run. You can take it from a person who's grinded RTLS a lot. That is probably the best way to do it, and or easiest. So yeah, I hope you took something from that run. I hope the quality wasn't too bad, because this is like 480p upscaled quite a bit, so you can actually see what's going on. You can see the timer as well, where I'm completing RTLS. I'll also leave in the video the amount of time it took for this segment at the very end. And yeah, if you have any questions or want me to do anything else, let me know, and I will do my best to get on that. So things to note during the run, to start off the very beginning of the video, why the territory count started at 2 is because apparently after Homecoming you have 2 territories. Before it you have 1. Illuminati actually helped me understand that that's actually how it works. So big thanks to him for testing that for me, so we can all understand how the territory count started at 2. If you haven't noticed, after every territory, I counted that as the territory, so I added that if you didn't notice that. So after I use Vigilante, or after the marker and whatnot, I would add the territory once it was actually taken over. So there's that. Other things to go about saying is, I'm really bad at video making, which is basically why I stream as well. So the layout wasn't too great. I don't really know what to do with it. So if anyone wants to or can assist in helping me make the guide video a reality, like the any percent tutorial guide or whatever, I would definitely like some help if you can assist in any way so we can make the video quality look better and more professional and whatnot. If not, it's all good. I'll try to continue with that project, but it won't be for later because it's going to take a really long time. Also, one other tip I can add to this guide is if you ever need a cop bike or anything like that, or you need to kill the cops, one of the tips I could give you is if you need a cop bike, shoot your gun to get the cop off of his bike and keep your gun out. This is one of the strats that most runners don't talk about. It's kind of one of those little secrets because it's not really like a strat that you use all the time. But if you shoot your gun or you make a cop mad with 1 star, you pull your gun out so they shoot at the car or the bike so you can get in without them busting you. It's basically like pretending you have 2 stars so you can actually get into a vehicle without them busting you. That's very useful for not getting busted. It's also useful for not getting 2 stars because if you get 2 stars during territories or more, you're probably going to rip your run. So another way you can go about that is if you need to kill a cop during territories, one of the things is that nothing spawns during a territory attack. So if you're actually attacking a territory, nothing will spawn. Only what was already there will stay there, like a cop car, a cop. So what you do is after you activate the territory, you kill the cop then, because during a territory, you can't actually gain stars because nothing's meant to spawn. So if you kill a cop before the territory is being taken over, you will get 2 stars. If you kill a cop during the gang territory being under attack, which is you doing it, of course, then while you're waiting for spawns, you can kill the cop if he's being really annoying. Honestly, a 1 star cop or a 2 star cop really isn't that big of a deal, so I wouldn't go out of my way to kill the cops outside of territories because it's really not worth it. Randomly you can get busted, but it's something that you really can't control, so unless you're like really low on health, I wouldn't worry about killing cops. Other things you can do is go to vending machines that are nearby if you really need it. That's usually used if you're bad at territories towards the end because you're right next to a vending machine. But yeah, that's basically my tips for if you get cops. Definitely try your best to not kill cops. Don't shoot cops out of their car. Just don't shoot cops, period, unless you're inside a territory taking it over. And that's pretty much the best tip I can give, and probably what a lot of people need to know. So yeah. So as I said, if you have any questions or anything you would like to know, definitely hit me up, leave a comment and all that, and I'll try to do my best to either make a video about it or respond to you. But yeah, that is RTLS again, and yeah, that's pretty much the best RTLS or example of RTLS I could give. Of course, the video quality could have been better, but of course, my 530 was in 480p, and I upscaled it because I'm using it. And on top of that, my PC is really bad, so even recording it probably wouldn't have looked too good. But I'll probably make some videos in the future going over some of the tips that I was talking about in the video, so that you have a visual reference as well. I didn't do it in this video. I'm really too lazy, to be honest, and it's probably better for a different video anyway, because this will be a pretty difficult video to continue watching. So if you want to see those tips actually done, I'll probably do them in future videos so you can see them then, and they'll be like in a clip type of fashion. So yeah, let me know what you think of the video. If you liked it, hit the like, of course, and definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace. I'm out.